Hello and welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider, the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Bridwell alongside Richard Mulrooney, and Coach had the week off last week. Usually you don't like taking an off week, or you don't like it falling after you're coming off a successful weekend. You hadn't gotten a draw and gotten a win. But in this case, really you enjoyed it. Not only do you have the momentum of having some success, but you guys needed to heal up some.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you set these schedules out a year or two in advance, and you don't really know how it's going to pan out. And I knew that we were maybe lacking one game going into this year on that weekend, and I tried to fill it, and you know, things happen for a reason. I wasn't able to, and looking back at it, it was much needed. We obviously had a good weekend coming off the Missouri State game, but we also had some injuries that we wanted to heal up, and we just had some stuff we had to work on that. You know, when you're going Friday and Sunday games, and you have your Monday off, and the next thing you know, it's Tuesday, and then your next game's coming up Friday again, you really don't have a lot of time to focus on stuff that's intense, because you obviously want to make sure the priority is the game. Whereas last week, you know, we didn't have a game on the weekend, so we were able to focus on a little bit more cardiovascular, and obviously some competitive practices that wear the guys down. It was almost a preseason inside the season, and I think we made the best of it.
Find a little bit more energy coming off a weekend where you got a couple of results?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, the confidence is there. The goals and practices were a little bit more crisper. The tackles were a little bit more harder. So, you know, like I told the guys, nobody's going to feel sorry for us, and we shouldn't. We're still right in the thick of things, and obviously with Cincinnati coming up, our first conference games, I like where our team's at right now.
Cincinnati, pretty solid team, I believe. 4 wins, a couple of draws already in the season. They've also got a couple of wins over some top 30 teams.
Competitive team. I think Hilton does a great job with that squad. The last 2 years, last year we had them 1-0 here, and they came back and beat us 2-1 2 years ago, and I know that's a while ago. We had them 2-0 at their place, ended up tying the game 3-3. So it's a full 90-minute game, and we obviously have, and the 1-2 years ago, obviously went into overtime. So Hilton always has his team ready. You know, they're a very competitive squad. They play a specific way, and they're tough to break down. So they've had some success this year, knowing that it's their first home game, conference game, and it's our first conference away game. I don't expect anything to be different.
And I believe I'm right, you're back on field turf. What you've been on already this year, of course, you have the field turf field that you can share with football, but you've played a match at least at Belmont. I know you're familiar with it.
Absolutely. I mean, Belmont, SIUE, Missouri State. So we've had 3 or 4 matches this year that have been on field turf, so it won't be anything new. You know, the guys should be familiar with it, but at the end of the day, it's about us going out and performing and having that quality, because I'm sure their fields will be fine. It's a night game, so it's not going to be scorching hot. And, you know, like I said, they'll be ready for it, and it's not an excuse that we're not going to be playing on grass, because we're very familiar with how we've played on field turf this year.
After Cincinnati, you're going to stay up in that area. You'll play Northern Kentucky in a non-conference game.
That's right. It just worked out that, you know, as another a Cincinnati area team, so we figured out, you know, if we're going to have a trip up there, we might as well get another game out of it. So we'll play them Monday night, and that's another one. I believe last year, the year before, they came into our place and beat us. So I want to make sure that we're ready for that game. But the staff will deal with that one first. I want our players to focus on Cincinnati because it's conference, and we obviously know what that means at the end of the year.
And we've talked about this before with just a few teams in the American Conference, not a lot of league games, so every match really is elevated. It's not like you're going to have a chance to get them again this season, and there's really nowhere within the schedule to make up points.
That's right. The parity's again here this year, you know, with it being a non-even schedule, I guess you could say. We have 4 away and 3 home, whereas last year we had the 4 home, 3 away. So 4 conference games away, it's, you know, it's that much more difficult. But having said that, it's not undoable. You know, Cincinnati is a game that I think we can go in and compete. And, you know, we're going in not looking for a tie, not looking for a loss. We're looking to get our 3 points. But at the end of the day, if our guys go in and compete and do what we're supposed to do, I think that there's a good chance that we can do that.
All right, Coach, sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Head Coach Richard Mulrooney, I'm Jeff Brightwell with the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.